Hello everyone, and this is another lesson on the new cops in Houdini. So we're going to use cops to texture terrain. So to start off with, I'll make this terrain and then we'll texture it. Okay, so it'll be like a full project. Okay, so I'm just going to duplicate this height field, which is nothing. Okay, so I have this and I'm going to take the grid spacing up to 2, so it's just faster to calculate. Okay, and let's come back to frame 1. Alright, so the first thing I want to do is I want to create like a stepped landscape. So I'm going to use a pattern. So I'm going to take a height field pattern. We're going to change this to ramp. Okay, and let's make the ramp size around 1200. So it's like big. And then I can use a phase to just, sort of like move it out. So it's like that. Okay, and then I need it to be stepped. So I'm just going to take this and we're going to make it like that. So there you go. Okay, so I can just have something like this. Okay, now I want to distort this. So I can just take a distort and increase the element size and increase the amplitude. So we have, something like this. And I'm going to increase the height. So it's a bit like that. Okay, there you go. I think this is fine. Let me just increase this a little bit more. Okay, so then let's add a little more noise on top of this. I'm just going to take another height field noise and just give it some noise. Like nothing too much, just like lower the amplitude. Okay, the next step is we'll just add a little more erosion to this before we do our final erode. So just take a mask by feature. So you'll get a height field mask by feature. And I'm going to mask out the slopes a little bit like that. And take a slump node. So a slump sort of is like a really fast erosion kind of a thing. So we can just take this and you can increase the, you can do like the repose angle. See which kind of, pushes the whole thing down. Yeah, see, so you can sort of like, increase the spread rate. Yeah, so this will kind of like, if I bypass this, so it will sort of like soften this out a little bit. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to have like some water flowing down. So I'm not going to model anything. One of the ways to do that is if I just take an erosion. Okay, so if I just take a height field erode, I'm going to get rid of this mask. So type in clear. So you'll get something called height field layer clear. Or you can take a height field mask clear. Like it's the same thing, except that, it types the name mask in there. So we can just do a mask clear. And see, so this is the difference. Like this is without the slump and this is with the slump. Okay, so it kind of just, like, it just takes the sand or mud on top and kind of puts it, on the lower level. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and put it in. And what I want is primarily to have like a lot of water. Okay, so what you want to do is take the thermal erosion low and we take the hydro erosion high. And I'm going to lower the bank angle and then come into advanced and you have something called precipitation, which is like rainfall. So just increase that. And we'll increase the density. And if you press play on this, then we'll get to see something like that. So you'll see like a lot of water. But this is like way too much and this is everywhere. Okay, so we don't want it everywhere. Let's say we want like a stream in the middle. So what I'll do is I'm going to make a mask over here. So take a pattern again. So take a height field pattern. And I'm going to change this from height to mask. And I'll keep it at a value of 1. So put this in the middle. So we'll see it like this and change it to ramp. I will rotate this to 90 and I don't want any repeat. So it's just this. Okay. And then come in here and I just want it in the middle like that. Okay. So something like that. Okay. Now increase the size and adjust the phase to where you want it. And then I can take the distort and increase the distortion. So you can kind of, move it around, and that gives me, so this is where we want our water to be. So what I do is I plug this over here into mask, but I don't want to see it with this because it shows like this big red patch. So we'll just clear out the mask. Okay, so we'll see it like this. And what you want to do is come into the height field, and for the precipitation, we pick up the mask and we'll type in mask. And also in the main hydro erosion, I can take this as a mask and type in mask. And now if I press play, what you get is that you'll get water, but see, it's only in that area. So this is a lot better, right? So we can actually like control where it's going to be. Now I want a little more in these areas, like this is too, like it's not really building up too much here. So what you want to do is just lower the bank angle, okay? And that will sort of make sure that it cuts through those areas as well. Okay, we can increase the erosion rate more, we'll increase the spread, I'll lower the bank angle even more. So then you just sort of modify these parameters till you have, like a fair bit of water. Okay, let's come in here and let's increase the amount and density. Yeah, there you go. Okay, this is good. Now you have like a fair bit of water in there. Yeah, this is good. Okay, so this is how you can just, quickly create like a water-based landscape. Okay, so now that this is done, let's start building a few masks, which we can then use in our final texture. One thing you can also do is, if you want, like we can increase the slope, like this is, maybe we can have a little more slope to this. So I can just take this, like my original pattern, and just, like spread it out a bit like that. Okay, let's just see what we get. Okay, that's not bad. You can work with this. Okay, so now what I'll do is I'm going to take, let's take a time shift and freeze this. Or we'll do it in the end. So let's first calculate our mask. So I'm going to come in here to the height field erode. We'll get rid of the visualize. Okay, so we don't want that. One thing I can do is I can smoothen this out a little bit. So take a blur. So take a height field blur and we'll plug in both. And the mask that we want is water. So if we just blur it and turn on mask aware blur. So see, it's blurring out the water area, but this is too much. So we'll just take this down to 1. Yeah, so it's like a little bit. Okay, like, so if I like bypass this, see, you have like those streams get a little smoother, which is fine. The first thing I want is I want these flat areas to be masked out. And then I want to get like a curvature map. And that's pretty much it. Like the water is already there, so we don't have to worry about that. Okay, so just take a mask by feature. So height field mask by feature. Like don't take in mask by feature because that works on geometry. So you have to make sure that you take height field mask by feature. And drop this in. And let's flip this. So yeah, so we're just selecting the flat areas, which is roughly what we want. So we can take a little bit like that. I think this is good. Yeah, this looks nice. So once you've made a mask, you want to save this, because if you try to make another mask, it will override. So take a layer. So take a height field copy layer, and we're going to call this something. So it will take the mask and we'll put it to a layer called flats, or let's call it flatland. Now, if we clear the mask, there is still something saved here called flatland. Okay, somewhere. Show 8 more. Yeah, there you go. Like we have flatland over there. Okay, so now we want to take another mask by feature. And this time I want to mask by curvature. But that will help us add like smaller details to it. So just do mask by curvature and do compute range. And then, yeah, just lower this. There you go. That looks nice. And I can just, turn this off. There you go. That looks nice. No, I think this is good. So we can also use it for water because it'll give us, we can get like streams here if we want. Yeah. Okay. So this is fine. So then again, we'll just do Control C, Control V. And this will be called curvature. Okay. So this is done. There's nothing like particularly fancy about this. I'll just move it to a side. And now in order to bring it into cops, we'll have to convert this to geometry, because you can't, this is a volume. I couldn't figure out a way of bringing in volumes into cops. If somebody does that, like, let me know. Yeah, there's still a lot of stuff, like it's completely new and there aren't enough tutorials around. So, I'm trying to like figure out the best that I can. If you want, you can increase the resolution a bit, but because we're just building like for test purposes, I'll keep it. This is relatively low res, like generally you want the height field grid spacing to be like 0.5 or something, but for our purposes, like 2 is okay. Let's bring it down to 1.5. So if nothing else, we'll at least, it'll be slightly better, and I'll just calculate that. Yeah, okay, 1.5 is good. It still calculates fast enough. So this is done. Now, firstly, let's just freeze this frame. So I'll freeze it at 10. Okay, so I can just take a time shift and we'll freeze it at 10. So right click, delete channel. Yeah, so it's 10. So now we have like a fixed frame, and then do a convert. So do convert, and sorry, you'll get convert height field. Yeah. And I'll get it to around 1.5. And that's pretty much it. So what this will do is you won't get anything. Like, there's just a landscape. If I come into material, yeah, it's like pure white. So let me just lower that a bit. Yeah, there you go. So you have our landscape. Can I turn on ambient occlusion? Yeah, there you go. Yeah, ambient occlusion helps. You can come into lights and you have ambient occlusion. You can sort of turn that on. So you get like a little more detail on the whole thing. Okay, so this is fine. Now we just have to bring it out. Okay, so just take this and we'll do a null, and we can call it out landscape. All right, so now just take a cop network and we can start working. So just take this and we start off with, I can just take a import node. So just take a SOP import, and we want to import the landscape, and then we want to bring in the textures in UV space, right? So what you want to do is you want to type in rasterize, and you'll get something called rasterize setup. Okay, and you plug this in and you say the space should be UVs. So this is, these are the UVs. Like if I press, it'll look like this, it'll look weird. And now you take rasterize geometry and we'll be able to bring in the data that we want. Okay, so if I just take this, you'll end up seeing a problem, right? It's bringing in an alpha, but it's showing it to you like this. So the problem that I realized was that there are UVs on our landscape, but that UV map is kind of like midway. Okay, which is, it shouldn't make a problem, but it does. So what you want to do is, firstly, let's say I want this above ground. Okay, so I can come into my height field somewhere here. Okay, let's take this guy, and I'm going to take a remap. So I'll take a height field remap and let's just push it over ground. Okay, so I'm just going to take this, I'll do compute range, and I want to go from 0 to 250, and we'll have to calculate the erosion again. So yeah, let's just calculate that. It'll be slightly different now because we increase the height of this. So if you look at everything, is it still okay? Okay, now if you come in here to this height field, like after we've converted to geometry, the way to correct this is you want to give it your own UVs. Okay, it just needs a flat UV map, okay, which is pretty much what we're doing. So if we take a UV project, and even if you bring it out now to your CopNet, you'll still see problems. Okay, like if I press spacebar G. Okay, but now check this. If I start to push this to 0, or let's say if I bring down to 20, you'll see like, what the problem that's happening is that whatever is below that UV map, okay, is not showing up, which is strange. Okay, so just make sure it goes to 0 and then it'll be fine. Apparently not. Like it's still not importing the whole thing, which is very strange. Why do we have a black patch? Yeah, you want to come to the point where it's just completely white. 0.9, 1. Yeah, okay, so now we're good. Okay, so now we're bringing in the whole thing. So this was an issue that was very strange. So now we can come in here. So we don't really need the alpha. We need a lot of other things. Okay, so let's just take care of those. So we have a ton of attributes on this that we need to bring in. So we need to bring in the we need to bring in the water and the debris and curvature and flatland and height. Okay, we don't really need the height, but we can use that. Okay, so we need to bring in like these things. Okay, we can also take in bedrock, but that's fine. Okay, so come in here and then I can actually like clear this. So press, click here, keep it to mono. And what we want is height. And then we want, let's call it flatland. Okay, like we can visualize this if we want to. Like if I plug in here, see that's flatland. And then we want curvature. So this is also mono. Okay, so that's my curvature. And then I want water. So they'll all be mono. And lastly, I want debris. So mono and debris. So there you go. Okay, so this is good. Now we can plug all of these into a null. So it's just easier to bring it out. The height field, if you want to see it properly, you'll have to remap it. Okay, so just take a remap. And let's do like 0 to, I think it was 0 to 250. There you go. Maybe a little higher. So there you go. So this is now fine. So what we can do is I can just take all of this and then, I can just do shift click here and I can just plug that. Okay. And now we have all the inputs. We just have to rename these. Okay. So otherwise it's like output 1, 2, 3, 4, which is irritating. So just type in like, this is height and this is flatland. And that is curvature. Like you can collapse all of this into a subnet if you want to save space, things like that. Water and debris. Okay, and then we can just we can take all of these and just minimize these. So it just makes life a little easier. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is we want to build a texture for the grass on top and then the cliffs or the rock on the vertical sides. Okay, so I'm going to start off with, let's take a fractal noise. And we can also bring in the UVs. Okay, so let's click here and I'll bring in UV. And just type in UV. Okay. And I can put that into input 6 and that will be UV. Okay, so if I take this and I plug this in and that's my noise map. And I can just take a mono to RGB and let's plug this in. And that can be my basic, I can just turn it to like green, like a light green. I'll keep it slightly yellowish. But this is like really simple, right? So let's say if we want it to be a little more like distorted. So what I can do is I can distort this, right? So let's just bring this up. And I'll do Control-C, Control-V, and I'll take a distort. Okay, so I can just take a distort here, and this will be UV. So this comes in here, and that goes in there, and we can bring the distort into this. So I can just take the scale and increase that. So you'll see it getting distorted, except that it's sort of distorting in a sort of like a direction. So what I realized was if you take the pixels per step and let's say we make it about 200, then it kind of distorts a little better, see, so it's sort of like, see, so you'll see like it kind of starts to add more and more over time and you get like a better distortion. So I can just take this and in the fractal noise, I can try to change this, like let's try Perlin, see, so that's a little better. So you get a little more detail on the whole thing. Like I can also take the roughness over here and bring it up. So we can use this for like our grass. Okay, so this is one layer. Let's see if we can put this into a box. Yeah, let's do that. And let's call this as grass. And now let's just duplicate this. So I'll do Control-C, Control-V. And I'm going to like lower the pixels per step. Let's change this to Whirly. Or hold on, let's try to change this to Whirly. See what we get. Yeah, I think this looks fine. Let's change this to, we'll change it to like brown and gray. So it's like, I want to do rocks over there. So I can just take this and do it like that. And what you can do is you can just take the contrast over here a little high. So you get it, you'll get a little more contrast on the whole thing. And then I can also take like a transform. So we'll take a transform 2D and I just want to rotate it. So it's sort of like vertical like that. So it's like vertical lines like this. And this is rocks. Okay, so now I want to just blend these two together. So take a blend. The rocks will be the background layer. And this should be the foreground layer. And we take the flatland as our mask. And there you go. So we get this. Now, if you want to visualize this in as simple a way as possible, I can just come in here and I can take a null and I'll do like out color. And I can come here to my height field and I'll just do UV quick shade because that's the easiest way to do it without assigning like a material or anything. And I can just take this and I can just type. So we'll do op:/obj geometry1 copnet2 out color, and there you go. You have your basic terrain that we just made. Okay, I think maybe this should be a little bit darker. Colors you can sort of just adjust to whatever you want. Yeah, we can let's try to blur this a little bit so that it's kind of soft. Yeah, I think this is fine. Let's make it slightly greenish. Okay, so this is fine. Now the next step is, let's just disconnect this temporarily. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in the curvature to add like a little more detail on top. So I can just take, let's just take a constant, or let's take, yeah, we can take a constant. Okay, so let's take a constant node and we'll take another blend. Okay, let's bring this back a little. And I want the curvature. Okay, so just take a null here. And this is curvature. So I can just bring that in over here. Okay. So this is the background. Sorry, that's the background. This is the foreground. And then I just want the curvature to come in here. Yeah, there you go. So I'm just going to collapse all of these. So it's just easier to, to see everything. Yeah. Okay, so what I can do here is maybe I can just set it to RGB and we can pick up like a brown or something. Yeah, now it doesn't matter if it's also showing up in the water because we'll have the water layer coming on top. But let's also say like you can try to do things here. Like we can try to invert it. So we can get like, detail in like different areas. See, so this is normal, this is inverted. You can also try to like remap this a little more. So if you want to kind of like, define which areas. But what we can also do is we can multiply this with like a noise map. So I can just take another fractal noise and we'll just put in like a multiply over here. And so this can just, like multiply with that. And I can increase contrast. Yeah, so we can sort of define which area that should show up in. Yeah, so you get like a little more detail on the whole thing. You can also bring in textures, like if you have like a dirt texture or, like gravel or whatever, you want to bring those in. You can also bring in that detail, like that's not a problem. Okay, so this is fine. Now, as a final thing, what I would like to do is I want to bring in the water. So the process remains the same. What I'll do is, in this case, I'll take a ramp. Okay, so let's take we'll take a mono to RGB. Yeah, so we take a mono to RGB and we need to bring in the water. So let's just take let's take a null. Let's take in both of these. So we'll take this and the debris. So we'll call it water and debris. and I can just, like take this out over here. And I want to color based on the water as well. So we'll pick up another blend, and this will be background, that will be foreground, and the water comes into the mask. And this we will keep it to, like, let's do a dark blue and a light blue, and let's see what we get. So there you go. Okay, so we get this. And if we, where's my out? Like if I check it with this, if I go back to my landscape, I should be able to see everything. See, there you go. Okay. So we have like a nice little, textured landscape. See, this is actually looking pretty nice. Like increase the resolution a bit more, you'll get more detail, but it's a nice base. Okay, so I want to do a couple of things here with the water. Like let's also try one thing. We'll take an add, and I'm going to like combine these two things together. So let's add the water and the debris together and see what we get. That's not bad. We can use that. Okay, so what I want to do is let's try to blur this a little. So it just sort of like blurs a little bit. I tried something. So I tried like a subtract, which actually looked pretty nice. So I'm going to take a subtract, and we're going to subtract these two together and just kind of like, see, if you lower it, you get like, it sort of picks up the detail. See, this is like not enough. Keep it around like 0.6 or 0.7 and you get like a nice bit of detail on the whole thing. And we can also, let's just make this, I'll take this, make this slightly darker. See, so you get like, nice bit of detail on the whole thing. If we want, we can also try to add like the curvature map on top of this. That might be nice, so I can take this, let's do Control C, Control V. And what if we add it here? Like, let me just try this. I'll take an add here. And I'm going to put in this thing over there. That's a bit too much, but let's just take this and we'll just lower it. That's not bad, just a little bit. It gives you these nice little streaks on the water. So it looks like the water is flowing, which looks good. So if we come out and take a look at our final, like an actual landscape, see, so you get like, you get these streaks going down, so it looks like the water is flowing. That looks nice. Yeah, again, like you can also, like, you're getting this banding. That is also because of we might have to blur the water mask itself. That will give you a better result. Like this banding that's happening, that's because of that. So if I just come here to let's get this guy, and what I can do is actually this is the curvature node, right? So I can try to take a blur here and maybe just height field blur, and we'll blur the curvature. So blur the mask. Yeah, there you go. That's a bit too much. Let's try to do like shrink, no, blur, and just blur it. So it's not as detailed. Also, like the resolution is low, like that's also an issue, but that will sort of help out here, like in our final result. Yeah, there you go. See, so you're not seeing like that much of banding over here. I can probably come in here and let's increase that a little bit. Or we can give it a color, like let's do mono to RGB. Yeah. And I can give this a light blue, so it doesn't like stand out that much. Yeah, there you go. That's better. And if I remove the time shift, this will actually animate, right? So if I just take this and turn it off, it'll take a little bit of time to calculate, but now it should animate. Okay, what went wrong? Okay, yeah, I think this is like, the Vulkan viewport probably crashed. I'm going to have to turn this off and turn it on again. I don't know how else to repair this. So give me a second. All right, so we are back in business. I restarted Houdini. And when you turn off the time shift, you'll actually be able to animate the whole thing. So if you want to actually export an animated texture, you might be able to do that as well. Like there is a file node in there that you can use to, like, if I come in here and we come into this thing and take a look at our final layer. And if I type in ROP, see, you have a ROP image output. So you can actually like, or do a ROP network. Yeah, whatever. So you can just take a ROP image output and you can like output, the actual texture as an animated texture if you want. Anyways, we don't want to do that right now, but the point is you can. Yeah, I think I have ambient occlusion on. Is that what is causing the problems? Yeah, there you go. It wasn't looking bad, but I think that it right now, because we have enough stuff, it looks good, without the ambient occlusion. Anyway, so this is pretty much it. So this is how you can use the new COPs to texture landscapes.